Okay, so B'Shem Hashem Na'aseh v'Natzliach. We're going to start with the Halachot of Pessach 2016. So as we all know, Pessach is going to be starting on a Friday night. And Rosh Chodesh Nisan is obviously Shabbat, because Pesach is Shabbat. So the whole month of Nisan, first of all, we do not say Tachanu. This is, I don't know whoever says Tachanu, but if you don't, fine. If you do, don't. In the month of Nisan, these are days of Simcha. All the days of Nisan are days of Simcha. When they first inaugurated the Mishkan, every single day, one of the heads of the tribes brought an offering, and any day that an offering would be brought, it would be Yom Tov. It would be a day of joy and happiness. So the first 12 days were taken care of, and then the 13th day there was more Yom Tov, and then we had Pesach. So most of the month was pretty much gone. There's a Rashi in the beginning of Masechet Rosh Hashanah that says, B'ezrat Hashem, the third Beit HaMikdash will be built on the night of Pesach. It will just come down on the night of Pesach. So that's going to be a huge simcha and joy. And we do not celebrate the inauguration of the new Beit HaMikdash during Pesach, because in Ma'arevim Simcha b'Simcha, we don't mix Simcha together. So we will wait, B'ezrat Hashem, until after Pesach. So in like about a month from now, we're going to have a lot of parties, B'ezrat Hashem, going on for the celebration of the new Beit HaMikdash. So the whole month is such that we shouldn't, we should be only having Simcha. Beit Din should not announce a ta'anit, a fast for the public, but if it's a person, an individual wants to fast, he could. One could fast during the month of Nisan. There is a custom, it's a good thing that on the day of the Yortzeit, on the day of the passing of parents, people usually fast. It's not a halakha, it's not a must. It's a good thing to do, and if they want to do it in the month of Nisan, they could do that. Ashkenazim have a custom that on the day of their wedding, they fast. Sephardim don't have that minhag, but if they want to do it, they could. They could do that in the month of Nisan as well. But anyway, we don't do that. Birkat Ilanot. I'm sorry, I'm just going to move fast. If anyone has questions, please feel free. The Masechet Berachot says that a person that goes out in the days after Nisan and he sees beautiful trees blossoming, he should make a beracha. This beracha says, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, shelo chiseh ba'olamo kelum, u'bara'o beriyot na'ot. He said that there's a perfect, beautiful world. There's a lot of beautiful creatures and nice trees for Bnei Adam, for humans to enjoy. And this beracha is a very, very precious beracha, Kabbalistically and just on the simple level. And it's only said once a whole year. Okay, this beracha. And ladies are also obligated to say it. It's not like, it's a mitzvah aseh, it's a positive commandment that it's only coming time to time. It's something that we do to praise Hashem. And ladies are not exempt, they should say it. And we have the whole month to say it, starting this Sunday. Rosh Chodesh on Shabbat, we prefer not to say it on Shabbat, but we could say it on Shabbat. That's only if it gets towards the end of the month, but if you want to say it on Shabbat, that's also fine. Even at night, as long as you could see the flowers, you could make that beracha.
Where's a good place in the neighborhood to do it?
There's a lot. Baruch Hashem, there's a lot of people have, it has to be fruit trees.
Right.
At least one fruit tree is also good. The more the better. In Israel, a lot of people get together and they go out of town. They go out of Yerushalayim. There's like huge farms of almonds and different things, and it's really gorgeous. And they all stay together. I remember I used to go to Rav Ovadia's house, and after tefillah, we would just go down the street in Har Nof. This person specially planted a bunch of trees in his backyard for Rav Ovadia, and he got a bunch of good smacks after. It was like, wow. He was loving it. And so we used to say it with him on Rosh Chodesh Nisan. So I remember there was a place in Eretz Israel that this person also, he had especially for this purpose, and he made beautiful sign with lights on it the whole month of Pesach. He had this on, beautiful ornaments all around it, so people could come and see and make a beracha. It was I guess not. I might have said this story before. I think it was Rabbi Moshe Antebi, if I'm not mistaken. He in Syria, they went to this guy. They said So they asked him, could we use your farm to your your orchard to make a barachot? He said, of course. And him and all his students went, and they made a baracha. Bikat Ilanot. When they left, he thanked them. Wow, you gave me such a big honor. Okay, they were happy. So the next year they went back to the same guy. They said, could we come and make the blessing again like last year? He goes, no. He said, why? You were so happy. He said, yeah, but after you left, everything dried up. Obviously, they did something, Kabbalistically, all the neshamot that were there, they fixed them up, and there was no need for them anymore. So he didn't let him. I don't know if we have those kavanot, but the whole month of Nisan is a very special month that Rabbi Ishchai writes that a person should say special tefillah for the neshamot. So there's something to it. Okay, so we said fruit trees, right? Even if all the fruit trees are the same, it could be all lemon, it could be all whatever, no problem. But as long as the flowers are there, once the flowers are gone, then we cannot make the beracha anymore. Okay, that was that. Let's get to the real stuff. That was pretty quick. Now, it says that hanizhar michametz mashru chametz. One who is careful even for a tiny drop of chametz for Pesach, muftach lo. Ari HaKadosh says, I promise him that he will not sin the whole year. What does that mean? Even if he wants to sin, suddenly he's going to dry up? No, he's going to have divine help from HaKadosh Baruch Hu that, not to sin. And I'm sure he'll have an extra protection for that. But the idea is the fumtzara agra. The more a person works for it, the more reward. But one thing to remind everyone, dust is not chametz. Dust is not chametz. Don't be looking for dust. People mistake spring cleaning with Pesach cleaning. It's not meant to be that. You have to take it easy. Just we're seeking to purge chametz. That's what we're doing. Nothing more. We're not looking. You don't have to lift up the fridge and to clean under it. If you like to, you could. If you want to be clean, that's something else. But a little piece of Cheerios under the fridge is fine. It's fine, yeah, because you are not going to reach under the fridge to get to that Cheerios. I don't think we have that much mesirut nefesh. So that's fine. Halachically, it's fine. So people shouldn't. We have to have priorities, right? We're looking for chametz. So now, first of all, when we're buying the products for Pesach, Bezrat Hashem, we have to be careful, very careful, to keep them in a very safe place. Especially, we have little kids running around, you can't stop them. They have chametz in their hands. They're walking around, and these chametz things will fall on these things, and then you're going to bring it out on Pesach. All excited! I have these products that I bought for Pesach, and then oops, there is a wafer nicely smooshed and it's all over the thing. So we should try to keep them in a safe place. And now, rice, buying rice, checking rice. We Sephardim, we have a custom that we do eat rice. Most Sephardim. Some Sephardim don't. That's because where they come from, they had issues with the packing of the rice, and they would find many times wheat or barley kernels or other things that are chametz, that would become chametz, and the custom became that they do not consume rice on Pesach. It's not only for Ashkenazim, there are some other Sephardim also that don't. They have a custom that they don't. We have a custom to use rice, however, we should check. Again, you're not looking for a weird rice, you're looking for wheat or barley, not looking for something strange. So just you have to look carefully, make sure the kids aren't around. One of the kids is walking around with a cookie, and while you're checking the rice for Pesach, it's an oxymoron. It's just weird because it's gonna drop the crumbs in there, and Bezrat Hashem, when you're cooking it, it's trouble. So we have to make sure the kids aren't around. Usually at night or something. That would be the best thing. There are some Sephardim, as I said, that they have a chumrah not to eat rice. Right? Because they're afraid maybe they didn't check it well, maybe they weren't able to check it well. Now, if they want to change their minhag and eat rice, being that their idea, the reason why they didn't eat it was because of a chumrah, if they now want to change, they have to do hatarat nedarim, because it was a chumrah. They did it out of a stringency in halakha. But if they did it because, hey, my parents didn't eat it, so I'm not going to eat it either, they don't have to do hatarat nedarim, but it's a good thing. Is that clear? Is that good? Ashkenazi that got married to a Sephardi, right? If she wants to keep not eating rice, that's fine. She's not forced to. But she can't say, oh, because I'm not eating rice, I'm not going to make rice for you either. You can't do that. Poor guy, what's he going to eat? Potatoes? So she could make rice, that's not a problem. She could keep to her minhag, not to eat rice. But if she wants to, she could, because now she's changing to her husband's minhag. Better for her to do hatarat nedarim as well. It wouldn't hurt. That's as far as rice. Now, which rice is good? I think we're just going to keep the status quo. That's what they decided. Whatever rice you were using, and it was clean, so keep using that. And I don't know about the vitamins that are added, and some say make sure you wash them. Some say you don't have to. There's a lot of back and forth, and there are certain Sephardi kashrut organizations that they recommend certain rice, but you can't find those around here. So unless you have a special shipment, and it's not basmati rice, so it's not going to be the rice that we're used to. I think so far we'll just stick to what we have until we have better supervision around here. Okay, now if you make matzah out of matzah that was made from flour, which is kasher lePesach, and fruit juices, honey, wine. Okay, that's good enough. This is called matzah ashira. They call it matzah ashira. That means it's not the poor man's matzah. It's good tasting matzah. These for Sephardim is allowed to consume. Ashkenazim are mahmir. They only give it to elderly people and little children to eat. Why? Because they're afraid that the halacha is really that these things, if flour comes in contact with water, it takes about 18 minutes for it to become chametz. But if it comes in contact with fruit juices or wine or these things, they say it'll be faster for it to become chametz. That is why the Ashkenazim are more mahmir and they don't eat that. We hold that it's fine, as long as it's being in constant movement, and which it is. So therefore, it is absolutely allowed and mutar for a Sephardi to consume these matzot on Pesach. Some poskim want to say that if you have a matzah meal, that would be floured matzah. You take matzah and you grind it up into a flour. Not to use it because someone that's watching you is going to say, oh, what's he doing? It's chametz. We're not worried about that. We say it's fine. It's not matter. It's ayin. And we could use it to make cookies, pizza, whatever you like. It's fine. And that's only for us that we don't keep what the Ashkenazim call gebracht. Some Ashkenazim that keep gebracht, that means if the matzah comes in contact with water, then they are mahmir, they're careful not to consume that. We don't do that. We don't have that chumrah. Therefore, we could use matzah meal, which is the matzah which is turned into flour. That is fine. Medication. Most medication nowadays don't really contain real chametz, and but we do have a list of things. Chole, someone who's sick, but he's a chole she'eino mesukan. Chole which is mesukan, which is dangerous. That means there's a danger for life or limb. And they know that they have to take certain medication, and those medication for sure contain chametz. Then they should buy that before Pesach. This way, before Pesach, it becomes batel, and they have it, and then decide, and they have to take it. They have to take it because it's a sakana. That's not what we're dealing with. Choleh, someone who is ill, who's not feeling well, and is not in sakana, is not in danger, he just has a terrible headache and wants to take a pain medication or something to relieve the pain, is allowed to take these pain relief medications, ibuprofen, as long as there is no flavor added to it. Flavor already starts the trouble. But we have a list of things that are allowed, and Baruch Hashem, these days there is plenty. Hopefully, we won't need any of that.
Are kids considered like sick?
חולה שיש בו סכנה? No. In this regard, we say חולה שאין בו סכנה. But again, if the doctor prescribes something, you could definitely ask for a brand or for a medication that could be used on Pesach. And there is plenty. There's plenty now. We have a good list. Our best has a great list that's used every year. Very good. One thing I'm going to mention, if you have Ashkenazi guests on Pesach, and you use in your pots and everything, you cook rice, can you make in that pot food for them? Yeah. Okay, good. Everybody knows. Thank you. So yeah, we could even though because it's not chametz. Remember, it's just it's orez, it's rice. If anything, in the Gemara Masachet Pesachim explicitly says that it's not chametz. It's a totally different chemical reaction, different process, and it's missing one of the enzymes, and that's what causes it to get bigger, the rice. But it's not because of the chimutz. It's not called chimutz. All right. We'll move to the next segment to make your kitchen kosher. On this, any questions on this? Good. Now, the vessels, the utensils that we use throughout the year for chametz, and you want to use them on Pesach, we can't use them on Pesach, right, unless you make them kosher for Pesach, right? And whatever it is that you do, however the chametz got into that vessel, this is how we'll have to get it out. People think that when Pesach comes, you have to do Haggalah and everything. Like, even if the stuff that you used last year for Pesach only, now you want to use it now, and you haven't used it the whole year. They do Haggalah again. Like, I don't know where that comes from. Maybe because back in the day, in the old country, people would use those things on Pesach and throughout the year. Now they want to use it. Of course, you have to do Haggalah. But if it's only for Pesach, I think the most we need to do is just wash them. You haven't used it the whole year. Maybe there's some bugs or something in it. Maybe we were in a rush to get rid of them after Pesach. You just put them away, and now you open it up. There's, I don't know, oil and grease and whatever it is. Okay, just have to wash it. But Haggalah, I don't know where that comes from. But something that you do use during the year for chametz, then we have to do the kashering process. For example, you have skewers for kebab, all right? For regular kebab, we don't use chametz, but if it's kubide, right, you certainly have breadcrumbs in it. So the breadcrumbs are usually chametz, right? So if it's mixed with the meat and you put it onto the kebab thing, so you are dealing with something that has totally absorbed chametz. The only way to get rid of the chametz is not by Haggalah. The only way is by libun. Libun is a process in which you heat it up to such a degree that it turns red and there's spark coming out of it. That, I would say, would get rid of whatever chametz is on that skewer. So that would be the way to use it. But without that, you just want to pour hot water on it. That's not going to work. That's not going to get rid of your chametz. I think it would be easier to use a separate one for Pesach. Who has the patience to hold these things over the fire for, 2, 3, 4 hours? I don't know how long it won't take that long, but I don't think anyone would do that. Let's move to the oven. If you would like to use your oven on Pesach, then the way to clean it, the best thing is, first you have to make sure you clean all the inside. That means bottom, left, right, back, and top, and the door. You got to make sure it's clean, right? Once you make sure all the cracks and the crevices are cleaned, then you will turn on the oven for an hour or two, highest temperature. That should get rid of them buggers. Okay, you have no more chametz, and whatever it is just ashes, and then you're good to go. But you got to make sure you get all the corners, because sometimes, now what does this do? First of all, the spray or whatever it is that we used, it should get all over. That will damage whatever chametz would have been there. Even without you turning your oven on, already your oven has become kosher, right? Once you turn it on, that's already better yet. So what are we worried about? We're only worried about, I mean, look, if you have a piece of challah that fell in there, that's a chametz, but that should get totally burnt off. We have the ze'ah, the sweat that comes out of whatever chametz it is, and that is what we're trying to get rid of, and this is the way you get rid of it. Yes?
I asked one year, the Shala, that, you know, the black, let's say something spills and it just burns, so you got black dots on the oven, and they told me that all those black dots, I have to like scrape off, and I was damaging the tray and like the stuff, so do I have to do it?
The chashash is, the fear is that under these black dots, there might be something which is chametz. But using the spray will make it pagum. That means it is essentially unusable. It's totally gone. And once you put it, if you have self-cleaning, together with the cleaning, that should do the job. You don't have to.
So if you don't have self-cleaning and it's just regular
high temperature for an hour and a half, should do it.
And also like a
after
strong,
the cleaning.
With the strong cleaner.
Yes, easy off is good. Oh, I don't want to. I'm not getting commission from Easy Off, so no, forget Easy Off.
There's
Whoever.
an Israeli brand.
Oh yeah, that's a killer. That one is illegal, probably. Yeah, that's a very. It has acoustic acid. That thing, whoa, eats through your skin. It's good stuff. The one thing I should say, you should not use your oven for 24 hours before you do this, right? That's an added thing that, it'll make it pagum. Pagum means it's not, it wouldn't be usable at all. Pots that you cook in them. Let's say you have barley soup, use it for cholent, which contains barley or wheat or whatever it is. Like, you make halim. These are totally chametz. So you want to use those pots. I don't know why you would want to use those pots for Pesach, but okay. Then we just have to do hagalah. You make sure you scrape it well, you clean it well, and then what you do is you got to bring water to a boil, and while it's bubbling, you put the pot into this pot. Or if the pot is too big, then you will fill the water, fill the pot, clean it up really well, scrape it, make sure there's nothing there. Fill it with water, bring it to a boil, take a rock. Yes?
You finish it.
I'll finish. Take a rock and put the rock on the fire, let it get really hot. You put it in there and that will add to the heat, and the water will spill all over your stove, make it nice and clean. This way your pot is kosher. Yes?
So what if the pot has a plastic handle that we cannot separate it from the pot?
All you have to do is just scrape the handle well, right? And that's it. Trust me, I don't think you will cook. The handle wasn't inside the pot cooking, so the way the chametz could get to it wouldn't be as it would on the inside of the pot. So then that's easier. Yes?
How long do you have to heat up the rock for it to be hot enough so that when you put it inside the pot, it doesn't make the water colder?
No. If you leave it there on the fire about 10 minutes, that should definitely, that'll definitely be hot enough. The rock would be hot. Now, if you're not intending on making the pot itself kosher, that's already a kosher pot, and you're putting something else, then you don't need a rock. As long as your water in the pot is boiling, that's good enough. You see bubbles coming up, you're good to go. Put whatever it is that could use hagalah, that's fine. We could do that, not a problem. Okay? What about
making hagalah for, let's say, a spoon?
Right.
If the pot itself is not kosher Pesach, and if the water is boiling, we could actually kosher it. So we don't need to have a
you don't have to have a kosher
separate pot for that.
Not necessarily, because that is boiling is doing the job for you. What about the lid? The lid also needs hagalah. Okay, the lid of the pot also needs hagalah. You need to insert that into the thing that you could. Knives. There's a big question about knives because knives are used with pressure. Hagalah is good enough because there's no knife that really got hotter than a keri rishon, right? You don't use a knife for something extremely hot normally, and it's chametz and so hot. We don't normally do that. Therefore, hagalah is good enough. Yes.
What about a knife that's got a handle that has a crack? So basically there's a crack between
Because everywhere I read, it basically says like those types of knives shouldn't be kosher.
For us, Sephardim, thank you. For us, Sephardim, as long as you make sure you clean all the cracks, right? Totally, scrape them off, totally and absolutely, and wash it, Haggalah will take care of it. Definitely, I would say, buy a new set of knives for Pesach. That would be definitely the advice. But there's a special knife that has lots of meaning to them. They were raised with this knife, and they can't let go of it for the days of the Pesach. Then I would suggest humbly to do Haggalah. What about, okay, now we're up to the stove. What do we do with the stove, right? Stove grates. We got to scrape them clean, make sure there's nothing on them. With soap and with whatever spray, the Israeli spray should definitely work. I think that'll take the paint off of it too. But hey, anything for Pesach, we'll do it. We got to scrape it off good and clean, and then you could just do Haggalah. Even if you don't feel like doing Haggalah, just pour boiling hot water on it. That should do it. You don't have to do it.
Put it in the oven.
You shouldn't put it on the oven?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Put it in the oven.
Oven, high temperature. While you're patching your oven, put it in there. Make sure it's clean. Make sure it's very clean. Put it in there, and that's fine. The same thing was with the racks that go inside. Racks that are inside the oven, you gotta make sure, because you got the metals that are like overlapping each other. You gotta make sure to get those, because there's a lot of times possibly chametz there. And we got to make sure to get those things cleaned up really well. Put it inside the oven. Make sure self-clean or high temperature for an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever you like. As long as it really gets them burnt off, we're good. Any questions?
You don't need to wrap it like with foil or some people do.
No.
What about the surface of the stove itself, not the grates? But
Just
the
clean it up.
Just clean it? I don't even need to.
You use the surface for cooking?
No.
No.
But things spill.
Just not
Okay,
to pour
clean it
hot
up.
water on there?
Not to
Clean it up.
I mean, mine is removable, so I couldn't.
So you have to pull the whole thing apart, like lift up the whole.
Why?
Not all.
Yeah,
Some
inside,
stoves are
inside.
sealed. It won't do that.
The inside has a lot.
So you're afraid that the chametz in there is going to give steam to your
Right.
Pesach food. Are you serious? No.
There's a closed burner and then there's an open burner. So if it's an open burner, let's say there's like pasta inside, and like the liquid goes in, and what about the steam that goes in?
We're not choshesh for that. We're not. Fine. We're not choshesh for that. Look, if you want to do it, I'm not stopping you. Go do it. Yeah, halachically.
It's once a year, it's good.
Yeah, fine. As long as you're not doing it, get your worker to do it. It's fine. But no, really, halachically, you don't have to do it. No, it's fine. And you don't have to have the aluminum on it. If you like to, it looks nice, clean for Pesach. Go ahead, put aluminum foil all over your house. That's fine. Make it brand new. But really, no.
Sorry.
Yes.
Even if you use the stovetop for like sometimes you, like how about on the stove top? On the rack.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about,
It gets on the.
Okay, that's why you're cleaning it up, and you are doing Haggalah.
But even with that, you
Yeah.
don't need to put foil.
You're gonna do it on Pesach. You're gonna make kebab on the grate on Pesach.
During the year.
I'm saying, so that's why you're cleaning it up, and you're doing Haggalah, or you're putting it inside the oven.
Right.
Perfectly fine.
But then we don't need to do foil.
No.
You don't need to move your whole oven out of the, like, why are you like,
Because we mentioned that before, sort of.
Oh, okay, so you don't have to do that.
No, if you like to, you could go.
Refrigerator, your oven, you don't move any of these
No.
appliances.
Everybody does, but we don't
Yeah,
have.
we don't have to.
Good. It's good exercise. It's not
Sorry, so just to clarify, on the stovetop itself, I don't need to Haggalah it.
right. Make sure everything is nice and clean. Use the Ajax, whatever it is. Clean it up real well. There are sprays, whatever oven sprays or whatever it is. Clean it up, and you're good to go. You don't have to do Haggalah on that part. It's fine. It's fine. There was a question there.
What about the handles?
Oh, I was about to say that. Thank you. Take the knobs off, cleaning well, because that part might contain chametz in the crevices. Clean it up, soak it in bleach or whatever it is you like to do. Yeah, that's a great idea.
And
Don't put
water?
those inside the oven unless they're
Oh, they're gonna melt.
right.
But what about hot water?
Hagala you don't need to. Just clean it up. You don't have to do hagala. You don't have to. Yeah, just clean it well with the bleach or whatever it is agent you have, but you don't have to do hagala on it. There's no reason.
If you don't use the, sorry.
Yeah.
If you don't use the bottom, you know how there's like the last part? It's like you put, some people put their fish in there.
The
Broiler, thank you very much. If you don't use that part, do you have to like clean it as well?
It's connected.
It's not an all of
The
it.
lower part of the oven.
The bottom part, the broiler.
Older oven.
Oh, some older ovens, the broiler is in all the way in the bottom.
Yeah.
If you don't use it, you don't have to clean it. Just make sure there's no chametz in there. Like, kids do open them up and see what's in there. They do. Sometimes they hide things in there. So I think
But it might be
you don't have to. If you're gonna use it, it doesn't really need kasher.
Like a kitchen thing.
That bottom part, what it is the drawer, and you have there's a pan for the broiler, and then it's just the broiler. The broiler doesn't become chametz. It's just the pan that becomes chametz. You just clean the area in the drawer, and I don't think you need anything else for that. Okay, the broiler will burn itself off. You don't have to fight. Now the part that's burning, that the fire comes out. Again, just clean it up with the spray and put it inside the oven. That's fine, and make sure it's clean. There's nothing there, and you're good to go. There's nothing that you need to cover there. So that'll take care of our oven and stove, right? You could use it for Pessach. That's fine. What about the blech? Blech is a little bit of a problem because the blech comes in directly in contact with our pots. But really, you just have to clean it up really well and just do hagala. Nothing else.
buy the new one and that's it.
Or there is a place on Washington Boulevard, 3 places that I know of, that they sell nice, good.
You're talking about the aluminum sheet, right?
I'm talking about
Right,
well,
those
not
are
aluminum. This
metal.
guy is selling stainless steel. He'll give it any shape you like.
Where?
On Washington Boulevard, on the way to downtown. I've been to them, like 2 or 3 of them, and they're really nice. They'll do it. They'll do it for you.
They can go buy it from
Those are thin. flimsy.
the big one.
Oh, yeah, okay, fine, fine.
$8 you pay
What about the
for the
electric
catering.
one?
I'm sorry, Mechila, one second. The trays, those has to be galvanized. If it comes in contact with direct fire, it could let off fumes that are toxin. That's dangerous. So,
I have it for a long time, nothing.
good, Baruch Hashem. Yes.
Electrical,
Oh, we're gonna get to that right now. So, what about a hot plate, right? What about a hot plate? What do we do with a hot plate? Must be cleaned very well. Make sure there is nothing on it, right? And then bring water to a boil and pour it all over it, right? You don't have to do hagala. You don't have to insert the whole thing into boiling hot water. Just bring water to a boil while it's bubbling. Pour it over the hot plate, and you're good to go. You don't have to cover it. Aluminum foil. Hot plate, plata, electric plata. Yes.
What if I have like a stain on it that just doesn't come off ever?
You try to get it off. If it doesn't come off, no problem.
What about
Really?
the new glass bears?
But I know what it's from, and it doesn't come off.
You try. You sprayed it. You use this really spray, whatever it is. Get the paint off. It doesn't come off. It doesn't come off.
glass ones?
That I don't know.
I'm getting a separate one.
Are you getting? You have the glass ones?
I have the new glass ones.
Yeah. Okay.
I am getting.
That I don't know. I'll tell you, glass most probably is much easier, but I don't know. I can't tell you. I didn't see in the poskim yet that they brought it down, so I can't tell you. It's probably easier to make it kosher, but I can't tell you. I'll only tell you what Ovadia writes in Chazon Ovadia. That's.
But what about real glass, like cups and stuff? Some people do.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it. We'll start from the tough ones. Now, how about a frying pan? Teflon, I'm not even talking about. Teflon, we can't do anything about it because Teflon, there is a cover, there's a coating, and what are you going to do with it? it might be some chametz got under it, and so on and so forth. Anyways, Teflon, it's not, they say it's not so healthy, and all that. So I don't know. Teflon, we just have to buy new ones. If a person wants to get good tahdig, so we should get new Teflon pots and pans. But we're talking about a frying pan, non-Teflon. What can we do? There's a big machloket on this, because Teflon, question is like this. Why is there a question? A pot, there is it's used normally with water, and through that water, whatever chametz was there got absorbed into the walls of the pot. So through water, with hagalah, we get that got inside, we get it out. With a frying pan, a little bit of oil that you put in there, is that considered liquid enough to say that with just hagalah you could get it off? Or no, it's as if it's dry. It's as if this frying pan was used for dry. That becomes like the skewer for the kebab. So that's hagalah. Putting it in boiling hot water, that's not going to be enough. We need more. We need a stronger agent. Chaim Tovim. We need a stronger agent to get it off, and that would be putting it in the oven in the self-clean thing. And if you have a plastic handle on your frying pan, that's not going to be very healthy for the frying pan. So what can we do? Halacha is that you got to clean it really well, and then do hagalah. According to Rav Ovadia, hagalah is good enough. All right. So, but I want you to understand where that's coming from. It's not so simple. Rav Ovadia says hagalah is good enough. Really, Rav Ovadia says that we could even, let's say you used it for you use your frying pan for a cheese omelet, right? And next week you say, you know what, I want to use my frying pan for burgers. So just do hagalah and do it. Right. You haven't used it for 24 hours.
Stainless steel.
Wow.
Right, yeah. Just you could do it, but it's better not to be playing ping pong with it, But that's really the halacha. That's really already says that we could do it. There's other poskim that would disagree, but again, we go where I'm saying like Rav Ovadia. Whenever we do hagalah, we should wash it afterwards with cold water to get rid of whatever is remaining there. And while it's hot, you don't want it to get absorbed back in there. Right? Good. Is there something I was missing? Something came to mind. No, it's good. What about dentures? What can we do with dentures? Fake teeth. The type that comes out, right? Now, first of all, on Erev Pesach, one should definitely clean them up real good inside and wash them with whatever, they have these tablets that they put them in and then they soak them in. It's better if they do irui. That means you bring water to a boil and pour it on them, right? You don't have to do hagalah on them because I don't think anyone ever eats something that is that hot that needs to come off with hagalah. Maximum, you drink a cup of tea and that, you never... just to pour water on him, boiling water on him, that should be fine. Now, things that we usually use for cold. Let's say you drink beer in a porcelain mug. You have a special mug that you drink beer in, and that's it. You never use it for hot. Sometimes you might have coffee, some sort of a blend that might contain chametz. Sometimes. Really, if you want to use it on Pesach, you could just wash it and you could use it, no problem, right? Because you never use it for something hot. Good. Beer is chametz. Don't forget. Now,
Porcelain?
I'm talking about porcelain. You use it always for cold. You pour cold beer, cold chametz, whatever it is in it. But if you use it for always, every morning you make your oatmeal inside that mug, then I would not use it. Unless it's glass. If you have a glass cup and you do use it for your oatmeal every morning, and you like this mug, this glass cup, and you want to use it for Pesach. Not to make oatmeal on Pesach, but you just want it. So you could go ahead and wash it and use it on Pesach. For us, Sephardim, we could do that. Glass does not absorb, so we could use it, right? The same thing with your fridge. The refrigerator is always cold. You don't use it for heat, for hot stuff. All you need to do is just wipe down your fridge, make it nice and clean in the crevices. Like there's no chametz laying around in the gaskets and different places. You're good to go. You don't need anything else on the shelves, on the doors, on the outside, on the inside, in the freezer, and all that. That's fine. Now, but if it's porcelain, then nothing helps. We can't do anything with it, right? With porcelain, yeah.
How come some people fill up their cups with water?
There's a chumrah like that. It's called Haggalah, right? It's a sort of a Haggalah that they do. You don't really have to, but if one wants to be machmir, yes, Har Ben Ish Chai brings it down that what you do is you pour water in it, leave it there for 24 hours, spill the water out, fill it again, leave it there for another 24 hours, spill it out, leave it there for another 24 hours. Altogether, it is 72 hours, and then you're good to go. Do you have to do it? Not really, but if you like to do it, it's fine. It's a good chumrah to have.
That was for what?
What? If you have glass cups and containers that you want to use for Pesach, that would be good. Yes.
What about colored glass, like yellow glass cups or like purple glass cups?
I don't think it makes a difference.
As long as it's glass.
As long as it's glass, I don't think it makes a difference.
How about Pyrex?
They said not to use it.
Pyrex, the same thing.
How about the colored,
Colored glass.
Coral?
Corel, isn't Corel glass?
It's
not white and
kind of. It's a little bit different.
Oh, Corel is glass or is not glass?
It's ceramic.
It's
I
unbreakable.
thought it was ceramic.
If it's ceramic, then we have a problem. Let me see the color one just a second. Sorry, where they bring it.
My husband broke it.
He broke it and it was glass or it was porcelain?
No, I don't know. It fell at work.
Corningware. We also broke one.
Oh, it breaks like that.
Yeah, recently they have had
Yeah,
problems
also
with him. Some of them are breaking. Oh, here it is. So Pyrex, no problem. Duralex, no problem. Where is that color one?
Not the tops.
Yeah, here it is. If it's color, we don't have a custom to be machmir on it, so that's fine. As long as it's glass, you're good to go.
How about crystal?
Same, no problem. If it's wood, stone, or these things, they have a halachot like metal, right? So you just have to either pour from boiling water on it or do hagalah. If you know they're not going to break, you're good to go. Yes.
The Pyrex, you said that goes in the oven. You could clean it for this.
Yes, the Pyrex that goes in the oven, that you could use it over the fire or in the oven. You could use it on Pesach, but make sure it's clean. We are machmir, like Mrs. Rebbetzin Cohen said, that we do fill it up with water, 3 consecutive days. If one is machmir on that would be better. But otherwise, as long as you clean it well, you're good to go. You don't have to even have to do that. But if you want to be machmir, you could go ahead and do that.
Is that hot water or cold water?
Cold water, it's fine. Now we get to the sink. Okay, if you have a stainless steel sink, no problem, right? Just make sure you clean it really well, all around, very well. There's nothing there, totally clean. Then you dry it up, right? You make sure it's dry totally. You'll bring water to a boil and do irui. You pour the boiling hot water onto the sink and do hagalah. The method of doing it, if you start from the outside to the inside, then it's going to get wet again, and that water is going to cool down the water that you pour on it again, and it's not going to work. So you have to start from the middle and work your way out. Okay? So you start like a circle from the middle, and you work your way out. It might be that you might cool off the water, so wait. Boil the water again, and then continue from where you left off. And you make sure you get it all over, the faucet and everything, and that's it.
And before this process, you're not supposed to use the sink for 24 hours, or is that?
And before this process, you could use it, just don't use chametz. You see the idea? The idea is that you haven't used it for chametz, right? Just like anything else. Sorry, thank you for bringing that up. Now, that is a stainless steel sink. What do we do with the porcelain sinks? So a lot of people like to say, don't use them. Put an insert. This is also fine. Do the same process. Clean it real well. Scrub it good with any cleaning agent, good cleaning agent. Make sure it's totally clean. There is nothing there. And then do the hagalah. Again, start from the inside and work your way out. Hagalah and fine. If one wants to be machmir and put an insert, that's perfectly fine, right? If you want to put it, some people have a special insert made out of metal and they make it custom made into the sink. That's fine. Why not? It's Pesach. One wants to be machmir, no problem, right? But you got to make sure though that it's very clean. Like even on by the drain, you got to make sure that it's totally clean and good, and we're good to go.
Can you use those things that go in the drain?
Get a separate one, please.
Okay, so
right.
What about some people use really strong steamers, not the professional
to do
ones,
hagalah, you mean?
Yeah.
If it reaches the high temperature, it gives it like a
my cousin
boilage.
has one from China that he actually imported himself, and he says it's very, very high.
What's the temperature?
It's more than 400.
It reaches more than 400 degrees
That's
Fahrenheit?
What he said.
If it does, then it's good. That should be good.
That should be good enough?
Yeah.
And the process for the sink, it would be the same?
Yes. Same exact. Poskim say that it's better than the porcelain that, do it 3 times. Do hagalah 3 times. That means do it once, dry it up, and then do it again. Dry it up, and then do it again. That's it. You get nothing there. Baruch Hashem. Are we done with the kitchen? So our kitchen is kosher? Yes. Oh, yeah, okay, fine. Was that your question? Counters? Okay.
When you said not to use the sink for chametz, after you kosher it?
Before you kosher.
Before you kosher it, do you mean actual chametz, or do you mean like rice or something on a chametz plate that you're just putting cold on cold on the sink?
Actual chametz. Actual
That's
chametz.
Okay,
yeah. Even even something that has breadcrumbs, that's actual chametz. You have barley soup. You have whatever, actual chametz we're dealing. Don't use your sink for actual chametz so that it doesn't absorb it. So whatever is there becomes pagum. There is nothing there as far as chametz is concerned, and then you use it.
So you could use your chametz utensils then, just as long as it's not
right. As long as it doesn't have chametz, you're good. Any questions so far? Okay, now kitchen counters. I don't even have to say it's too easy. Just wipe them clean, right? Wipe it totally clean with whatever agent, cleaning agent you have. Make sure it's dry, and then do hagalah. Pour hot water over it.
I cannot put it.
Why?
Because my friend put it, she ruined all the cabinet. And serious, for Shalom Bayit, she has an issue. I'm serious about it.
So if your friend did it, who says it's gonna happen to you?
No, because I did it. It's serious. I'm not joking. When you put the water, it's going to go inside the cabinet. So
You have to put a towel right at the edge so the water doesn't go down.
How about we clean it good with Ajax, and later those plastic one, clear plastic one, we put all over. Is that
To line it.
Is that possible?
Clear plastic contact paper.
That's fine.
Yeah. Make sure it's nice and thick. Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
Make sure though on Pesach you want to put something like a pot, hot pot, to put something under it. Under the pot so that it doesn't come in direct contact with the counter, although there is a contact paper, but to create
It
that.
doesn't have a paper. It's those.
No, it's a clear
plastic.
Oh, it's a clear. Oh, it's a counter thing. Oh, okay. So that's something else. Yeah, fine, for sure.
No.
Some people make a whole counter make a counter special for Pesach, and they bring it and they put it in, and they have a new kitchen. Baruch Hashem, for 8 days you have a new kitchen. Yeah, why not? No, you could buy finish a whole roll of aluminum foil.
Tablecloth cover. Yeah.
Oh, those stuff. Okay, but no, that's not thick enough. So if it's just a plastic one of the rolled plastic stuff that you put on your tablecloth, that's not thick enough.
They have this one. This
Oh,
they
thick
have not
plastic.
not the
Fine, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. Even how thick can it be? So make sure whatever you want to put a pot, you're not going to put a pot on that plastic. It's going to melt through. Anyway, you're going to have something under it, so you're good to go. Don't worry, it's good. It's good.
So what do you have for my,
Some people make it for mica for the counter, and they just cover the whole counter with it. They have a carpenter that comes in, measures everything, cuts the hole for the sink and for everything, puts it right in, and you're good to go.
For the the kettle that you use, does that have to be?
It doesn't have to be kosher Pesach because unless you use it for chametz all the time.
I have to use, it's a water.
Some people will make barley soup in there. I don't know. Just if it's used for water, you could use it for Pesach as well. Just make sure it's clean and do hagala on it. You're good to go for Pesach even. The same one you were using for during the year, right? Just clean it up, bring it to a boil. That's it. Make sure though that the bottom is clean. There's all these deposits. Got to get rid of them. Baking soda a lot of times works. Yes.
For the kitchen, do you do the counters first or the sink? It doesn't matter.
I would start with the counters. Then the sink would be the last thing.
Okay.
Yes.
What about the hot water urn?
Same thing. Just make sure it's clean. Get rid of the stones in the bottom, and fill it up. Bring it to a boil. You're good to go. Or buy new one.
You said something about the rice. If usually people don't eat, now they have to. What about the beans? Some people don't eat
Beans also. Some Sephardim have a custom, they don't eat beans. Some Sephardim don't eat only the red beans, kidney beans. Some Sephardim don't eat black-eyed beans, right? Some Sephardim don't eat chickpeas, hummus, because it sounds like chametz, hummus. That's the only reason. Some places they had, because of the farms and everything, so the packing, they would find suddenly wheat and barley, they had problems, so that's why they wouldn't use it. So that's the issue.
so all countertops could be kosher?
Kasher, yes, because if you're going to use it on Pesach, the chances are that there might be something there, so you should much safer. Kitchen is not to be tampered with, so yes, you would want to clean it up.
You won't have to cover them.
You don't have to cover them. Just kasher them. You don't have to cover them. If you want to cover them, fine. I'm sorry, you go ahead.
Yeah, for the tea kettle, you said that if you didn't use it for chametz, you could use it. But I made flavored tea in it before.
Tea kettle, we're talking about the hot water kettle.
Yeah, but I made tea in it.
Just tea?
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. Always?
No, just one.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yes.
Even if it was always, it's fine because most tea is not a problem. If anyone is interested, I have a huge list. The OU sent me huge list of teas that are fine. So yeah.
Sometimes on Shabbat I put my challah on top of my water urn to warm up.
Right.
Can I use my water?
No. That makes it chametz. You use it sometimes or always. Here and there.
Most of the time.
Yes, your water urn is chametz. So you could do hagala on it.
What if the hummus covered?
But the top is plastic. You need to have the top.
You could pour hot water on it, nothing happens. That's what it's for, it's hard plastic. You have boiling water inside, nothing will happen to it. You bring water to a boil, pour it on the cover, and it's fine.
What if you
Make
done
sure
just
it's
a couple times?
If it was just seldom, like once in a while, then still you should do hagala, just in case something fell in there or whatever. Or you washed it in a sink with chametz. These things do happen. To be on the safe side, for sure do hagala on it. For sure. And again, make sure you get rid of... What?
Just on the lid?
No, the whole thing.
Anyway, you're doing the urn anyway.
The whole thing becomes
Right.
chametz.
But the urn, you're just putting the water inside. You're not putting that
Yes.
inside something else.
Touching the urn anyway. Touching the top.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you. What was that?
Yeah, we said in case it like spilled in it.
Not getting returns. Thank you. For that, all you need to do is just clean them well, very well, and that's it. You don't have to do hagala. Yes.
When you do hagala, does the entire utensil have to be in the water at the
Yes.
same time, or can you go part by part?
Oh, that's what you mean. If it's a big utensil,
Yeah.
so you could do part by part. It's not like mikveh. right? In the mikveh, like, the whole thing has to be inserted into the water completely at once. But in this one, you don't have to. It could be half-half. Okay? Anything else? Anyone else?
So,
Yes.
plastic, hard plastic, any plastic that doesn't melt could be
Yes.
kosher?
Yes. Rav Ovadia, Chazon Ovadia, page. No, it's good for your reference. If someone asks you, you should know. Page 151.
Not so much.
Chazon Ovadia, page 151. Yes.
Yeah, I have a table, I have a desk in the family room where we put the computer, and the top it's wood. Should I just clean it good and cover it?
You eat there? You eat on that table?
Do we eat? No, but sometimes they put a plate on it, and they put it on the computer.
Okay.
I clean it and I cover it as well.
So computer, we have another issue. Between the keyboards, we have a lot of food.
No, I do those.
Okay, so you're gonna vacuum it up, bang it down, and get them all that? Yes. You know they have the special little vacuums for the thing that's... right. Now, the table, let's first start with the dining room table. On the dining room table, if you always use a tablecloth, there's nothing you have to do. You just wipe the table clean and use your Pessach tablecloth. And if you use that plastic cover, you're fine, right? If you want to use, but if you eat on the table, if you could do hagala on the table without ruining it, then do it. But usually it gets ruined. So you don't want to do that. So the best thing is clean it, wipe it clean, make sure you get all the cracks and everything, make it clean, and then put a tablecloth on it. Make sure the tablecloth, if you're using it throughout the year, do a good laundry, hot water, clean and good, and use a Pessach plastic. Now, someone has a hard time buying a new Pessach plastic cover. If it has cracks, then forget it.
No, it doesn't have any cracks.
No, I'm talking about, wait, I'm not getting to, I didn't get to your case. The plastic that you put over your tablecloth, if it has any cracks, then we can't use it. You should buy a new one. If it doesn't have any cracks at all, then you should do hagala on it. It's gonna melt. But meaning use something if as hot as you can, water to make sure it's totally clean. If there's nothing on it, I would strongly suggest to get a new one for Pesach. Now, your computer table is much easier because you don't normally eat there. Just make sure you wipe it clean and you're good. Yes?
If you don't use plastic, never. I always put fabric, wash it, put it again.
Fine.
You don't need plastic.
Fine. You don't have to have plastic. No. I'm just saying if you have, then this is what you have to do. If you always use fabric and you wash it, make sure you wipe the table clean well, and then you use a new tablecloth, or even your yearly tablecloth, and make sure it's washed well. If you remember in the Shabbat class, we mentioned the tablecloth for Shabbat definitely has to be fancier than the rest of the week. Even if you have an extremely fancy one for during the week, make sure your Shabbat ones outdoes your weekday. Now for Pesach, it's a Yom Tov, so we have to make sure that that's a higher grade, better thing better than the rest of the year. Okay.
What about a glass table?
Glass table, you're good.
So I mean, we can never put anything hot unless we have something.
It'll crack.
Anyway.
Right. So that's
So
fine.
that's okay?
All you have to do is just wipe it
Soap
clean.
and water.
Yeah, for sure. Spray, Windex, soap.
That would work with milchik and fleishik?
Yeah, for sure, 100%. For milchik and fleishik, just to let you know, for us Sephardim, we don't even have to have separate tablecloths.
You don't have to.
We could use the same. We don't eat off of the
I'm
plate.
saying it's a glass table, so if I wipe it and then use.
Yeah, I'm saying even with the tablecloth, we don't have. It's better, for sure. But all right, I think we're good to go with this. We'll move to not next Thursday night, the Thursday night after. That's the night of Bedikat Chametz. We should by then have our rooms systematically cleaned, not only the rooms of the house, but question: should we have it next week, or we could continue now and finish it all off?
How much is that?
Probably another 20 minutes. All right. So we should have all the rooms systematically cleaned. That means a person should have a list. It's much better. You have a list. This room, this closet, this closet, this closet, this room, this closet. This way, everything is going to be organized, and for sure you didn't miss anything. The backyard, as well should be clean to make sure that you don't have something serious chametz laying around in the backyard. That's for sure. Because one should not have any chametz in their possession during the time of Pesach. Even if you're not going to go there, if you have something in Alaska, but it's yours, then it's yours. Lo yara'eh lachem chametz. The Torah says you should not have chametz in it is not yours. So therefore, you got to make sure that wherever it is, you have to get rid of it or sell it or whatever it is you got to do. Better to finish your chametz during this time. This way, you don't have to deal with it. You don't have to sell your real chametz. Bread, crackers, cereals, real chametz. So whiskey and vodka, these are derivatives of chametz. So these you could sell. But I wouldn't suggest finishing them off before Pesach. Not very healthy. Now, for sure, we have to check the pockets of kids. They are prone to have chametz in them, and also their school bags and everything. Just make sure they're clean. I'm sure everyone is going to sell those to the goy. Now, those you don't have to check the pockets and everything. You don't have to check again the night before Pesach, right? The night of B'digat Chametz. I wouldn't suggest sticking a candle into the pocket to check. These things wouldn't be very healthy. Now, when is the time to check for Chametz? That would be right after Seta Kochavim. In the booklet we have, I think it says 8:09. That would be the perfect time to start to check for Chametz. Now, obviously, if we leave everything for last minute, it won't be ready by then. But as soon as we're ready to go, we gotta go. The sooner the better. That would be the best thing. Now, we have to do the checking in every room, in the stairwell, in the closets, in the porch, and the backyard. Wherever we might have chametz, we have to check. Books, we have sefarim at home. Even if you use them on the table, on the Shabbat table, you don't have to check them.
You don't?
No, you don't have to check them. Page number, you don't have to check them. It's fine, because whatever it is crumbs, and the crumbs are batel. Not to worry. If you want to give your kids some good work to do and tell them go through every word, it would definitely beat them fighting.
So, but they'll bring Yaakov Yosef for Halachot.
That's fine. We're afraid that some challah crumbs might have fallen, it's fine. It's fine. Yes.
How about the cup that have like stains on it?
Stains are fine. Yes. Okay.
What about the wraps of like lollipops? Can we keep it or we should
Throw them out, please, because some of them might. What, they're saving it for souvenir?
No, the dum-dums?
Oh, the dum-dums, yeah. So you can redeem them before Pesach?
I can't really get it.
Or it's not enough? So put it with the rest of the chametz and sell it. Yeah, that would be. So when it comes to checking for chametz, we should check everywhere that we would be afraid that the children would put chametz, i.e., everywhere, right? Really, mashallah, they could put their chametz anywhere. So therefore, we should be careful to check everywhere. Now, the custom is that they put a few pieces of bread, different places in the house, strategically placed, where they could be found. Make sure that they're wrapped with paper. Aluminum is not going to burn. Wrap them with paper. Make sure it's a big piece of paper and wrap it good. The pieces should be tiny. Shouldn't be kazayit. This way, if by chance you won't find it, you could do bitul chametz.
Wait, they should be smaller than a kazayit?
Smaller than kazayit. And write on a piece of paper, whoever is hiding, they should write on a piece of paper, number 1 is in this room, in this closet, in this drawer. Number 2 is in this. Make sure you have a list. Now, Kabbalistically, we use 10 pieces of bread, and we hide them around, but don't only look for that, for the bread, right? We should look for chametz. It has to be...
More than 10 pieces or not?
No, 10 pieces.
Not more than 10 pieces.
No.
If you want to cover more rooms.
No, that's fine. Just 10. Even this is, yes.
Should we make it super easy to find, or is it supposed to be relatively like...
As long as you're going to remember where they are, make it super hard. But you have to remember where they are. And if he missed it, you go get it. Don't worry. Right.
Are you allowed to play the hot cold game?
No, let him sweat it. Let him sweat it. It's good.
But you could be there for like hours and hours.
That's fine. There were gedolim that the whole night they were doing this. Let me put it this way. Ariya Kadosh says every drop of sweat that they sweat for this is a kaparat avonot. No, really. I mean, if once you feel bad for them, then.
Does it have to be bread?
Any chametz. The minhag is we have to use it using a candle, right? Rabbi says obviously not everywhere you're going to be able to take the candle, so a flashlight will be a good help to have in the pocket as a backup, because sometimes you need to crawl under the bed and all the little dangerous places. You're not going to be carrying a candle. The flashlight would be very handy. You don't have to turn the lights out at home to do this. You don't have to. If you want to make it more dramatic, why not? A person should not eat a seudah of bread before he do, a real seudah before this, or even to learn before this. This takes priority unless it's a shi'ur. It's a set shi'ur that they have every night, so they should not nullify, they should not cancel the shi'ur. Do it, just remind each other, gentlemen, after the shi'ur, go check. We make a baracha, Asher Kedishanu Suzano, al bi'ur chametz. Bi'ur chametz means to purge, to destroy chametz. Although we're not destroying it right now, but this checking is in order to find it and destroy it tomorrow. So we make that baracha. It is asur for a person to speak between the baracha and the checking. Why am I telling you this halachot? Usually the husbands should do it, but you should know it to stay on top of their heads. Now, if there is a room that you're going to put the chametz in, you don't have to check that room. Okay, you have a closet or a room where you're going to put the chametz and sell that. That is not to be checked the night before Pessach. Okay? A person might say, look, my house is squeaky clean, sparkling clean, I don't have to do it. Beautiful. There is a takana of Chachamim. Chachamim said, on the night before Pesach, we have to check for chametz. Even if you know that for sure there is nothing there, we are going to do the takana of Chachamim and check. Some have a custom, Ben Ish Chai brings it down, to have a plate. Inside the plate you have a piece of bread, wrapped very well with in paper, and salt. Salt is for longevity. That means Be'ezrat Hashem, Hashem should give us Chaim. Next year we should do the same thing, and also good for other things also. And a knife to scrape the whatever chametz that might be somewhere, to have it with you. It's a good siman. We do that too.
So it's the, what is it again? The salt?
Salt, bread, and knife.
And knife. Where do we put this?
In the plate that you're carrying with you, right? Or one of the kids is very carefully carrying with them. Cars have to be checked as well, right? Even if you know you're not going to use your car for the duration of Pesach, for some reason, it still has to be checked. After the checking, one should nullify whatever chametz he has that he hasn't seen. Because there's some chametz that he did see, and he still wants him to be his, because he wants to burn his chametz tomorrow. If he says, I'm nullifying it, then it's not his chametz anymore, then tomorrow, what is he burning? Someone else's chametz. That's not going to work. So right now, at night, that's in the guide also, we have it at the end, that it says that one has to make that announcement. Now, you have to make sure you understand. Women also could say it, it's fine, it's good. You have to make sure you understand. It's not a prayer, it's an announcement that whatever chametz or anything that is related to chametz that I didn't see is hefker, is no longer mine, and that's it. And it's nullified. As I said, ladies also have a mitzvah of tashbitu se'or mibatachem. The Torah says you have to nullify chametz from yourselves. So therefore, let's say if the husband is busy, like he can't do it, so the wife should do it, right? The bedikat chametz, and also tomorrow, the next day, this year is on Erev Pesach, is on Friday. The same thing. She could do it, no problem at all. And a husband, wherever he might be stuck, he could just say that I am doing this. We got to make sure the next day to burn the chametz on whatever we have totally as early as possible as we can. We got to make sure when we're burning the chametz, first make sure it's burnt and then make the announcement that whatever chametz I have is nullified. Because if you say that statement before that, then again, I'm burning something that's not mine. So that won't work. Another thing that we need to know. On Erev Pesach, that Friday, once the 6th hour of the day, that means midday, I don't think they wrote that in there, it should be around 12:45. Should be around then. From the Torah, from 12:45 and on, it is asur to eat or have benefit from chametz. It's from the Torah. Not only on Pesach, it's 6 hours before Pesach. Chachamim added 2 hours before that, we can't eat. That the time is written. I don't remember what time it says on the first page. 10:30? It's a little later, no? 10:39. So from 10:39 we cannot eat chametz. Another hour, up to another hour, we could still have chametz, but after that, it's got to be gone. Okay? That's that. Before this time comes up, we should clean our mouth with dental floss and toothbrush and whatever we can, because you don't want some chametz stuck between your teeth and then suddenly it pops up while you're biting at the matzah on the night of Pesach, and then that won't be funny. We're laughing now, but another reminder to sell the chametz. When you're filling out the form, you're not selling them yet, so you could fill the form already tonight. It's fine. You are making the person, whoever the rabbi is, and your agent to sell your chametz before Pesach. That's all. You're not really selling it now, so you could go ahead if you know what where you're going to be, where the address is, and all that. Fill out the information and do it the sooner the better. Don't leave until last minute. If anyone is traveling to New York, because New York Pesach is going to be earlier, so therefore the time of prohibition of chametz is going to be earlier, you should do it, you should let them know so they'll sell it the night before or earlier. Another thing, being that it's a isur, just one second, being that it's a isur of Torah to have chametz, so if someone did have it and didn't sell it and still had it, the Chachamim made a thing that the person should not have any benefit from this after Pesach. That's why many stores that did not sell their chametz, we don't buy from them until we know that inventory that they had during Pesach is no longer. Yes. Depends on the store. Depends on the turnaround. Depends on how quick they get rid of their inventory. All that.
Also, change your toothbrush.
Change toothbrush. Yes, please. I mean, you want to use your toothbrush, you could.
No, that's right. Also, the broom is also dirty. Do you still need to change it, or?
People usually do. You could wash it. Yes.
The electrical toothbrushes.
Change the tip. If you want to keep the tip, just the tip. You don't have to change the whole thing.
Can you use it after Pesach?
Yeah. Just put it with your chametz, and then you want to use it after Pesach. That's fine.
Okay. Another question I have: what about the garbage cans that you put outside for the garbage to take? Yeah. If you where you put when you wash those out? It's really hard to wash.
But this year is good because on Friday.
This year is good, but let's say there's some chametz left in it. Those garbage cans are not really yours. They belong to the city. If they get lost, the city will replace it for you. If they break, the city will. So it's theirs, really. It's their property. They just make usage that they keep it in your property. So therefore, not to worry. If you like, you could tell someone to wash them. That's fine.
No, but can you put your toothbrushes? You don't have a lot of time to get rid of your.
Toothbrushes are not necessarily chametz. Remember, we usually clean our toothbrushes. So being that they're not necessarily chametz, that's fine. We're not dealing with real chametz. You could wash it with soap and hot water or toothpaste and hot water, and it's good. Just put it in the closet that you're not going to use it, and then you could use it after Pesach.
Throw your bread in your big trash bin and put it outside for them to collect it, but it's there on Friday. And it's like, are you owning the chametz on Friday?
Yes, that's your chametz. You got to make sure that it's out of your property out.
But it's not you're saying the trash is not yours.
The trash can is not yours, but the chametz inside, although it's hefker, but it's big pieces, you don't want to deal with that.
If I
Sorry. Yeah?
If I don't bring the trash trash can inside my house for the next 3 days. That is okay or still not okay?
Then what are you gonna? No, it's still not okay because it's your chametz that's in there, that piece of bread or whatever it is that's in there. You know what they do? Usually by the chametz burning place in the Bnei David Judea over there,
they have a dumpster.
they have a dumpster. You could put it there. You could put everything there. Yes, yes. I'm sorry? Yes, if you do that, then you have destroyed it. You could burn it. You could burn it in your backyard. You don't have to go to the chametz burning place, but it's not so safe. One more thing, your vacuum cleaner. Vacuum. Make sure. Okay, so we're pretty much done. I have some other stuff, but we are pretty much done. Just next week, if you want, we could have a 25-minute shiur, if you want.
Yeah, Leila Seder.
We could do Leila Seder and also Erev Pesach.